Good evening, and welcome to Injustice Investigations. I am your host, Al Scott. As always, we appreciate you all tuning in to tonight's live broadcast. Miss Renfrey, I love you big time. Indeed, you are on time. Gratefully appreciate that. Good evening, Sandy Moon. Dana Hudson is in the house this evening. Valerie is here as well. Tawana Landry is here, and Miss Ferris is somewhere in the house as well, I am sure. Karen Wilson, good evening to you. Tonight, we have a lot to discuss tonight. Our topic for this evening is 15-year-old in Lake Charles, Louisiana, who lost her life at the hands of some teenage girls in Lake Charles, Louisiana. That is our top story for the night. But first, I want to address an issue with the Rochester Police Department. A 9-year-old girl was placed in handcuffs and pepper sprayed for not putting her feet inside of the police unit. An adult called the police department because she was out of control. She said she was going to, I think, kill someone and kill herself, so they called the police. Okay, the girl is 9 years old. She's handcuffed. She's in the unit. She won't put her feet inside. One officer yells, "Stop acting like a child." She replies, "I am a child." As simple as that. So they pepper sprayed the 9-year-old girl. I'm going to paraphrase what Gail King said this morning on CBS this morning. How in the hell does a grown man pepper spray a 9-year-old child? It's simple. If she won't put her feet in the car, pick her feet up, put her feet in the car. That's how we do that. Rochester Police is not a stranger when it comes to bad policing. This is the same police department back in March when a black man with mental issues was in the middle of the street. I think he was naked. They put a spit cloth over his face. I think it was raining, snowing, but I know it was extremely cold. At least 7 officers stood around him like in a circle until he died. This is institutional structured racism. And that simply means on their end, what they're doing is right. This is very, very disturbing to even handcuff a 9-year-old girl. She was taken to the hospital and she was later released. Now, when someone is pepper sprayed, really they're defenseless. It was totally unnecessary for the police to pepper spray a 9-year-old child. So, this is happening a lot in the United States when police are called on individuals who have mental issues. They don't know how to address them. So, and it's happening to a lot of black people. So my advice to parents, sometimes I know our kids can get out of control, but if you want, keep your child. You don't want your child to get hurt. You don't want your child to wind up in prison or dead at the hands of the police. Deal with this the best way you can. Do not call the police. We will speak more on this subject tomorrow night. Okay, quickly, let's get into tonight's headline. Before we do, I'm going to address a couple of comments that was placed on our page. We sent a poll out and asked if you thought juveniles who commit a homicide should be tried as an adult. Thank you for taking the poll. The majority of you said absolutely. Yes, they should be tried as adults. Okay, the mother called the police on a child and was abusive to the child in front of the police. Okay, if the mother did that, I don't know. I didn't see that part of it. But that still does not warrant a 9-year-old girl being pepper sprayed. So, I mean, there is no defense for absolute wrong. She's handcuffed. She's handcuffed. She's handcuffed inside of a vehicle. Pick her feet up, put them in there, slam the door, and let's move on. It's just that simple. Now, someone wanted to know, who the hell are we to judge? I'm going to tell you who we are to judge. We're the people, the public. Tupac started that bullcrap that only God can judge. That's a lie. A lot of times when people say we're judging who can judge anyone, either that person is the one we're speaking of, or they know that individual themselves. And tonight, I don't know about some of you all, but I came to judge. And I'm going to paint a picture, as I did the other night, of these young thugs. It's just as simple as that. So yes, we can and we will judge tonight. Before we get into her son that's arrested, someone wants to know, what the hell does the son have to do with this case? He has a lot to do with it. I'm trying to show a pattern of bad parenting. And this came about when the mother made did a live video on Facebook. So if we're going to tell the story, then we're going to tell the story, and we're going to tell the whole story. Your kids are not saints. You're a bad parent. And we'll get into that shortly. Tonight, I have on the line with me, she's going to come on shortly, I have Melanie's grandmother on the line. I have been in close contact with her since I was notified of the situation. I've spoken with many people. I've spoken with several people that was in Walmart when it happened. I spoke with an eyewitness that saw this event unfold from beginning to end. As a matter of fact, you all probably know her name. Her name is Jessica. While others were standing up in Walmart filming the girl on the floor, dying, while they were filming, she was over there holding her hand until she took her last breath. She did not die at the hospital. She died at Walmart. Now, again, not only do we have the grandmother on, we have some of the family members in our chat this evening. If there are any disrespectful comments, I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to immediately block you. It's just as simple as that. This past weekend, a young girl, Lake Charles Louisiana, Melanie, was turning 15 years old. She went to the movie, given her permission to go to the movies with her sister and some friends to celebrate her turning 15 years old. When she got to the theater, after paying for the tickets, they realized the girls that had been bullying them for a while had showed up as well. They asked for their money back. I'm told they received it. They took off walking, trying to get to somewhere where there's a lot of light. They noticed the girls behind them. They began to run. They began to run. They began to run for their life. And they wound up in Walmart, where they thought was going to be their safe haven. But unfortunately for one of the girls, it would be the place where she would take her last breath. All of you saw the video. It lasted, I think, a little over 2 minutes. We saw the girls looking up at the globes in Walmart. If I'm security, if I'm a police officer, if I'm monitoring those cameras, and she keeps looking up, she's finna do something illegal. Either she's getting ready to steal, or she's doing something that she should not be doing. and she keeps looking up. That's a red flag to me. So I'm going to come down and get my other people in position. This went on for about 2 minutes. Nobody showed up. I can hear one of the girls saying, such and such, that bitch is in the back. The other one's there. Okay. I see one with a knife waving up and down, up and down. So that's more than enough time for security in Walmart to come down and address the issue. Not to mention, several people that called me said that when they walked Walmart, they could hear the commotion with the girls. So they're in the back, people coming in from the front. If you can hear that, that means they're extremely loud. Something is going on. There, bitch, go there. That's what one of them said. The girl takes off running. She has a cell phone, I'm assuming, in her hand, and so you don't know what's going on. You can't see the end result. But the end result would be that a 15-year-old girl was stabbed in her heart. And one of the eyewitnesses said she thought she was just hitting her. And this is not a fact, it's just what I'm thinking. The 3 times she saw her go at the girl, she was stabbing at her then. She was stabbing at her then. The last stab, the girl turns around. She says, I'm bleeding, blood gushing. And she falls down. It took a while for security to get there. While others were filming, Jessica went to her and was trying to comfort her best she could. She said, I'm going to die. Don't let me die. Don't let me die. 15-year-old girl. She's out celebrating her birthday. But it was interrupted from thugs who had been bullying her for a while. Do I think these young girls should be tried as an adult? That's an understatement. We cannot continue to let juveniles commit adult crimes and then try them as adults. We greet you how we seek you. When you take off your baby shoes and you put on the shoes of a grown man or a grown woman, we must address you as such. We have to. If you continue to make it easy for juveniles to get away with murder, it becomes a pattern. And it goes on and on and on. We are spending entirely too much time worrying about those committing crimes being separated from their families, and not nearly enough time thinking about the victim, the one that's dead, that will never be with their family again. I don't have a problem with Erica Rochelle or whatever she want to call herself, because she has at least 5 Facebook pages. Erica Gallo. Let's take this call right quick. Okay, they hung up. It's your prerogative. That's your child. You love your child. Trying to defend your child, I don't see nothing wrong with that. However, there is a lot wrong with it. For number one, I don't know if she consulted with someone. If she had consulted with the right person, Sandy Moon said, if they're acting like adults, they should be tried as adults. Amen. If she consulted with the right person, here's what they should have told her. You can do the video, but don't do this, don't do that, don't say this, don't say that, and don't do the video. Now, these people have not buried their child. Your timing was off. Terribly off. In a minute, I'm going to bring the grandmother on so we can speak with her about the life of her granddaughter and what she wanted to be in life. And she's going to tell you about her school background and where she wanted to go. And it's a sad story on both ends. Nobody Nobody wins. Okay, the video. Erica Rochelle or Erica Galloway, whatever she wants to call us. Let's dig in. For those who sent me that video, I thank you. I thank you, Canada. The video lasted almost an hour. Almost an hour. I listened to this woman from the beginning until the end talk about her and her daughter and praising her daughter. She's a good kid. She don't get in no trouble. In that video, she says she has 9 kids. Somebody inboxed me. No, she has 12. But I'm just going to have to go with what she said for now. She said 9, okay? And her kids respect her. They do what she tells them to do because they know me. My daughter, this is a lady, knew not to let me see her on that Walmart video because she wasn't supposed to be there, and she didn't want me to see her on that video because she know me. Evidently, she don't know you like you think she does, or she just don't give a damn because she was in Walmart. She was in the wrong place at the wrong time. She was in the right place. It was on her time. If I walk into the store, me and a partner of mine, whether I know he's stealing or not, when they catch him, Mr. Scott, put your hands behind your back. It's just as simple as that. You want your child to be home. Isn't that something? So does his grandmother. But that won't happen. But your child will return, probably sooner than you think. The video was appalling, insensitive to the family and the deceased, and outright ridiculous. She knows I don't play. Your daughter's 12 years old. She's out doing whatever the hell she wants to do. You even said in the video that she hangs out with grown women. That's wrong. It's okay for us to defend our children, but defend them in a respectable way and make sure you're not putting your child on a pedestal that he or she should not be on. When parents say, right or wrong, I'm going to support my child, that's a serious problem with me. A serious problem. You don't support your child for doing wrong. You do not support your child in their criminal element. You love your child, but you don't condone what they're doing. That's not a good parent. That's not a good parent. Not a good parent. My daughter didn't even know them girls. She comes right back. My daughter hangs out with them. Well, which one is it? Or do you know? Or do you know? She said, I need to go to church more often. Well, good luck with that. That's not going to make it better. When you are still dealing with a battlefield inside of your mind, pretending your daughter is a saint, and she's not. Whether your daughter did this or not, she was there, she was with them. She was hanging with the wrong crowd. Sometimes the crowd is hanging with the wrong child. I'm not going to give your daughter a pass because she's 12 years old. I've heard so many stories about you. Everything again, I have to go and look it up before I speak on it. She was concerned about being in her daughter's room smoking because her daughter wouldn't like that. What the hell? I can't smoke at 9 if you don't like it. This is not your house. You have a room, and that's it. You have no emotions. We have a 15-year-old girl that's dead at the hands of some diabolical young thugs. I'm going to say this, I'm going to bring the grandmother on. So many things bothered me about your video. But there was no remorse from these kids. What else? Stand with me right now. Really? You didn't give a damn. The kids. It was a joke to me. I don't give a damn. She killed her, she killed her. Then we come back. We're trying to do damage control. Y'all know I didn't mean to say that to the family. And she's laughing again. She's in the vehicle. Water pops up. Everything's a joke. So since everything's a joke, they need to face reality. And reality with me would be for all of them to spend the rest of their lives inside of a jail cell. But Louisiana law is the problem. Miss Lamona, good evening. Lamona?
Yeah.
Good evening.
Mm-hmm.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm okay. I'm fine.
Again, we offer our condolences to you. Just tell us a little bit about your granddaughter, who she was, and what she wanted to do.
Melanie was more or less a quiet girl, kind of self-centered, more or less country. She loved the country. She loved the chickens, the horses. She loved to put on her cowboy boots and her belt buckle, go across the fence, go in the field, jump on the four-wheeler, ride levies, feed the horses, and take care of her little nieces and nephews. Melanie, I never heard Melanie raise her voice, never say a curse word. Therefore, when I heard the language that they was using, I never seen the videos. They was playing them in the background where I could hear them, someone in the house. And when I heard the language of some of the little girls, it put fear in me. I know that wasn't Melanie. When I would correct Melanie on things, I never actually seen her cry. I always see a tear fall, one little tear fall. And she would come back later on and be like, Mama, you want something to drink? Mama, you want some of this? Tony showed me that she should have let me. I've done something wrong, but I love you. I always tell Melanie, always feel aware of surroundings. Anytime Melanie would go somewhere or do something, I was always there, always sheltering Melanie. And mine, I have other grandkids. But Melanie was the one that I felt like I had to pay more close attention to, because you feel everybody was a friend. Everybody was okay. Everybody's sweet. Everybody's nice, like she was. Melanie had evacuated for the hurricane. We passed 2 hurricanes in Louisiana. Hurricane Laura and then Delta. She evacuated with her aunt. She went to Dallas. First she went to New Orleans, and then she ended up in Dallas. She had been gone for a while, so I kind of lost contact with her verbally, but she would text me during the course of the time she was gone, and let me know what she was doing and what's going on. And I wasn't happy with the fact that she was in Dallas. I wanted her to be back home, closer. And with all the things going on, we trying to build a house and different things going on, I kind of like wasn't texting her as much. But on her birthday, she called me, which was the 23rd. Out of the blue, she was calling, we was going to get something to eat, my husband and I. And she's like, Mama. I'm like, who's this? She said, it's Mel. I say, hey, Mel, what you doing? She said, Mama, this is my birthday. Today is my birthday. I said, who does that? She said, I know the day is your birthday. I got something for you. I said, tell your little sister Priscilla, I have a backpack for her and I got a school jacket in the backpack. And she said, oh, she's easy. And I said, well, Melanie, what y'all doing for your birthday? She said, Mama, we going to the movies. I said, to the movies? What movies is open? They got a pandemic going on. She said, Lake Charles. She said, the movies open up, y'all can go inside as a drive-thru. Oh, we can go inside. I said, I need to be careful because you know what? It says y'all spread their little bars around. We can get it, y'all can pass it on to me. You better be careful. She said, okay, Mama, I love you. Stay careful, I love you. That was the last I've heard of Melanie until I got the call from her mother. And she said, Melanie got stabbed at Walmart. I said, at Walmart? I said, Melanie at the movies. And so I didn't think anything of it. I just went on doing my day in the house and good day in the kitchen. And I waited about 30 minutes and I called Melanie. I called her mom back and I said, any word on Melanie? She said, no, the doctor don't want to let me see her. He's saying that they're working on her. And I told my husband, being a nurse, my husband, they're working on her. I said, well, let me get on the phone. So I turned the phone on and I opened it. I turned the phone on and later the news flash and it said a homicide at the Walmart on Highway 14 in Lake Charles. And I turned and looked at my husband and I said, a homicide? That's death. And I called her mama back and I called the mom back. I was like, everything okay? She said, no. She said, my baby gone. I lost my baby. She did. They killed her on her birthday. I'm like, what do you mean she did? She said, she died. That was it. It just blew me away. And I'm still young. I'm standing there trying to process the fact that I just spoke with her. She was going to the movies. We should go to Walmart. The movie should be still playing. And this is one of the hardest things for me to try to process. And I felt like I should have been there because I know Melanie. They left the movies. So when I understand, she went to the movies with her little sister and her little cousin. They paid their money to see the movies. Melanie was all excited.
Mm-hmm.
They had to retrieve their money back. The little sister said, let's go. The girls in here, let's go. Melanie, being a follower, not a leader, the little sister leading. But let's go run where they have light. Melanie proceeded to go along with the little sister and they left. They ended up at Walmart, which was a few blocks. It was dark. They went through the dark and they ended up in Walmart. Of course, Melanie, not aware of her surroundings, she gets in Walmart. She proceeds to shop with her movie fees and her birthday money. And she shopped and she got home. Had no idea she was going to be met again by that same mob of bullets that she just left at the movie theater. I can imagine Melanie. When she went up to Melanie, she started cursing and saying these things. I could just about imagine how Melanie felt. Because she's not used to that type of language. She never used that type of language. And so when I say Melanie was the aggressive one, but the ran for Walmart, I'm sure they called bang, bang this and bang, bang that. These girls run for their life. When she met her in Walmart, Melanie come around the corner and seen her. She knew she wouldn't come down and give her a hug nor shake her hand. So Melanie done what she all the only thing she had to do, and that was to defend herself. Not knowing that this girl had a knife, a kitchen knife. And every time she swung, if she could make Melanie, it was a hole in her. And she aimed for her heart. When it was all said and done, I heard the tapes. I didn't see him. He stuck in her heart. She bleeds. She leaking. Later stuck in her heart. I did not know until yesterday. I thought it was in the jugular vein, but she bled out. But indeed, the little girl was right. Whoever said it, she did stick in her heart. And that's where she had a wound at, in her heart. She didn't pass, she didn't die on the way to the hospital. She died in the floor in Walmart. And I was often wondering, where was all the shoppers? Where was security? It's 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. I was thinking about it. It's just a painful situation. And my heart bleeds me, my heart goes out to the other parents. Not the grandparents, the great grandparents. It's my area. We didn't go together.
You know,
It's to go on and nobody to live and just let my baby just lay there and bleed out. It's hurt the situation. When I close my eyes to try to sleep, even when I'm alone in the home, my house, and I start to do things in my daily routine, like Melanie face often comes. And I think about how she was when she met up with that mom. And that's the hardest thing for me right now. And my heart goes out to both sides. Because we all hurt it. We all lost.
You know, yesterday.
I pray that you guys just pray my strength.
Yesterday.
Pray my strength. They're going to say they're juveniles. And they're going to be treated as juveniles. When they reach a certain age, 21, 7 years from now, they say the book's closed, that's it. But there's so many juvenile crime going on now. This is where it's at. It's time for us to get a hold. Throw a juvenile. Not just yours, your sisters, your brothers. Sad out there. It's just so sad. You know, I ran across a video, someone sent me, with a little girl. Like the little girl had anything to do with Melanie's death. But she didn't partake in Melanie's homicide. But she had a lot to say. One of the, I heard her saying things like, well, she did, and I don't care, she did, she did. What the hell? And bang, bang this, and bang, bang that. Well, he said, I don't use. And as I look at that, I think that, I took a picture, this child was failed somewhere. She had a dark area. Even a little girl raising. They used the knife and stabbed my granddaughter. How can a child be so angry? And this is close and personal. It wasn't a gun. It was a knife. This is close and personal. It's just so much anger. It scares me. And I feel like we should have said anybody. If it didn't affect you, it's something clearly wrong. You're not part of the problem. You should be part of the problem. Because if you have any kids, it have affect you. And Mr. Scott, I thank you. I appreciate you. Let me tell Melanie's story, because this is my Melanie. She wouldn't have allowed the girls fighting. Thank you.
From my heart to yours, you are welcome. I'm with you, as something I told you yesterday, and until we get the results that you're looking for. And I know we have to work with legislators on changing the laws when it comes to juveniles who are committing violent acts, especially homicides. But some of the comments, you can't see them now, but they're saying they can hear the pain in your voice, and they're sorry for what you're going through. I can hear it in your voice too, and you're not talking regular since this has happened. But I'm going to keep her story out here, because what we need to do is we need to address the laws that concerns juveniles. Think about it. If 18 or 21, she's free. Melody is still gone. The other girls may come home sooner than their parents expect. So I know I know you're hurting for your child that's locked up. I understand that. But here's what you have to understand. You just listen to the grandmother talk about her granddaughter. You get a pain in her voice. The only difference is that you'll get to speak to your child again. You'll get to hear her voice again. You'll get to see her again. This family won't. And to the young lady who wants to know, why am I going so hard on the mother? I'm going so hard on the mother because the mother was wrong for making that video. I found it very disturbing and very appalling, trying to paint your kids out to be something that they're not. Through all that video, not one time did ever mention Melanie's name. It was that girl, that little girl, that's evil, that's past evil. That's past evil. I can't respect that. I respect you defending your daughter. But that video should have been put on hold, at least until after the burial. And someone should have gotten with you. Don't say this, don't say that. So it's a pattern with her, for those who wants to know why we brought the son up. Her son was 16 years old when he was trying to steal a man's vehicle. The man was getting ready to go to work. Comes out, instead of the son just taking off running, he turns around and shoots Scott DeVille. The victim later dies at a hospital. A while later, they caught him. She has a 12-year-old daughter that has been arrested in connection with a 15-year-old girl's death. Her children listen to her. They respect her. They know her. So I'm trying to let you know that they don't respect you. But when she made that video, that tells me everything I need to know about why the child is so bad. I don't have a problem with you speaking for your daughter, but tell the truth. Insensitive, you wouldn't call the girl's name. It was about you and your daughter. You and your daughter. I can't sleep. What the hell do you think is going on with the grandmother and the mother? What? Ms. Renfrey says, she says that her daughter does not know what's going on. I'm glad you brought that up. That's exactly what she said, and that's a lie. That's a lie. Your daughter made a conscious decision with those girls to chase Melanie and her friends from the movie theater to Walmart. Not one time did your child, who didn't know what was going on, raise her hand and say, they doing something, y'all, I don't want to be a part of. Not one time. Someone put up a comment a while ago when he said it, that the young girl that's actually stabbed Melanie was on probation for stabbing a child at school. I cannot say yes. I don't know anything about that. This is my first time hearing about it. I don't know, but I will check tomorrow and find out if that's true. When we're saying things, especially when someone is deceased, you have to be mindful that the grandmother or the family may see what you're posting. You can think anything you want to think in this world. It's just not always good to say what you're thinking. I'm going to work with this family, Cynthia and I, to make sure that justice is served one way or the other. We're also going to work with them to create Melanie's law. We're going to change the system. If your child commit an act such as murder, you must be treated as an adult. It's just simple as that. With the way the law is now in the state of Louisiana for juveniles, it's too much time being spent on the juveniles being kept away from their families for too long of a time, and not enough energy focused on the dead that will never come back. You make your bed hard and lay down, baby. Lay down. It's as simple as that. I know there's a lot of things that you cannot talk about now, Ms. Lamont, because it's still an ongoing investigation, but if you had, if it was in your hands, the punishment that the girls would get for taking the life of your granddaughter, have you thought about what it would be if you had that power?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Miss Simone, you all right?
Can you repeat that?
Oh, I'm sorry. If you had the power to choose their punishment, what would it be?
I didn't want to see them spend the rest of their juvenile life in jail. I mean, locked away from their family. Um, they have to understand its consequences. Um, by all means, I'm not mad enough to retaliate myself, self-retaliate. Um, I really don't think there is any kind of rehabilitation that I can offer them. But my heart do goes out to them. I have a burden for them because they are kids. They are kids, and somebody failed them.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere down the line, they will fail.
You know, when we were,
I know with the juvenile judicial system, juvenile life,
mm-hmm,
that consists of maybe 7 years, according to their age, and it's a possibility they can rehabilitate within that frame of time. But it's also a possibility they can go through all the programs that the juvenile system has for them. They can complete them a year, 2 years, and they can come home. I have to think of take that into perspective also. It hurts, Father, it hurts deep. Even in Melanie's situation. I have a son that's a Navy veteran. Right now, my son is in the hospital. He has to go to the hospital because, dealing with the death of his daughter, and that he's in combat, and for somebody to use a weapon to kill his daughter, it's something he couldn't bear. And after this all over, it brings on another problem. It brings on something else that I have to deal with. But my heart goes out to the kids. Because I have kids, I have grandkids. But someone failed them. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what the punishment should be. And I laugh at heaven or hell to me. I'm hurt. I'm hurt for them too. Because we all lost. And it's hard for my son to deal with it. Not to ask you guys to pray. Pray for him. Pray for my family. Pray for the other family. Pray that God touch these young ladies wherever they're at right now. I'm just getting full right now. I can't determine the punishment. I will not up to God.
um, I remember yesterday when we were speaking, and you said some of the things you just said, and it really didn't surprise me with what little I know about you from the little time we've been speaking, that you still had a heart for the girls that was involved. And I can respect that. I can. Uh, when things like this happen and it don't disturb you, it doesn't bother you, you don't see a need for us to get together and change laws, then you have to be a body without a soul. I'm asking all of you that's on our live feed tonight, you in Louisiana, I want you to write your lawmakers. I want you to tell them Melanie's story. I want you to tell them that laws must be changed. We must think more about the victims than those who have committed the crime. When you let someone get away with something once, don't happen all the time, but a lot of times they're likely to repeat it. We cannot keep giving kids a pat on the back. We can't. The videos are very, very disturbing. Some videos they send me, I can't show them to the grandmother. I wouldn't dare do it. I wouldn't do it. But before we leave tonight, let me address Walmart. Some time ago, for decades, Walmart locked up perfume and cologne that mainly a lot of black folks would wear. They've since undid that practice. If you're able to walk in Walmart, if you're able to walk in any store that sells knives, and anyone can pull that knife and go and pay for it, or can pull that knife and use it as a weapon, I think it's time we lock the knives up. And I think Walmart must do a better job with their security. They'll see you sticking a pack of gum in your pocket in Walmart, and the next thing you know, the SWAT team there got you surrounded. Walmart has some blame in this too. I hate that it happened. I really do. But not as bad as the family. But we all learned something in this. One is that Walmart must lock the knives up. Two, we can't treat juveniles like juveniles when they commit adult crimes. We can't. We can't. A lot of us love our kids, but we don't raise our kids. And that's a big difference. In loving your kids, you must raise your kids. Don't let social media do it. Never condone the diabolical, evil acts of your child. You'll love your child until their dying day. But when you support the wrong they're doing, and they know you're going to do it, they continue to do it. They continue to do it. There, Miss Lamona, I'm gonna cut you because I can hear it in your voice. I feel your pain. I do. And I know it's extremely hard on you. And we offer our sincere condolences. We told you that before, and whatever we can do on this end, I promise you, we're going to do it. We're going to be in Lake Charles, Louisiana with you. We're coming down. We're going to address things in Walmart, but our top priority now, I think, after burying your granddaughter, is to focus on laws that let killer kids get away with murder. These things, you're welcome. These things should not be so. Now, before we leave, those of you who love Rochelle, Erica, whatever her name is, if you hadn't watched the video, then watch it. Maybe you understand what I'm saying. But you probably won't, because when I watched it and it came from her page, I looked at the comments. And just about everybody that was commenting was either family or friend. And guess what? They agreed with everything she was saying. They did. Someone said, that child don't need to be sitting in no juvenile, no jail. That child need to be home. What the hell do you say about the child that's dead? A child. Stay in a child's place. You're heartless people. Some of you are on this live feed tonight. I'm reading your comments. I'm reading. But I dare call your name. You won't get no 5 minutes of fame over here, because you're troubled too. If you're in agreement with that disrespectful video, you part of the problem too in society. You got a battlefield going on in your mind. When you accept this as, hey, she didn't know what was going on. She did. She knew exactly what was going on. This is not an isolated incident. These girls have been bullying Melanie for a while. These are troubled kids. Troubled parents produce troubled kids sometimes. It's simple. It's simple. Please, write your leaders and tell them Melanie's story. And this is not the last show we're going to do. I'm going to be doing a lot of it on Melanie. I don't like what happened. I don't. Her life ended on her birthday. And when the aunt sent me the story, thank you, Miss Knight. When the aunt sent me, Jennifer Hogan said, some of the comments are so insensitive. And this is what is wrong with our kids. It's people like this shaking my head. Jennifer, you just preached. Thank you. Thank you. You're so disrespectful. Very disrespectful. I guess Too Short was right. I mean, Tupac, you wonder why your child's so bad. Now we know. Again, we will address the issue with Walmart in later days to come. Is there anything else before we leave, Ms. Lamona, that you want to bring up? Oh, wait a minute. What I forgot what I was going to say. When the aunt sent me the story, and we was inboxing one another back and forth, the last message she sent me, I inboxed her back and said, I want to make sure I'm not misunderstanding you. Are you telling me that this child was killed on her birthday? And she inboxed me back with one word, Y-E-S. Linda Jacob says, whatever happened to plain fist fight? That's it. That's how we used to do it. And then guess what? Probably that same day or days later, we back playing together. Know what your kids are doing. Just because you put a roof over a child's head and you feed them and you clothe them, that don't mean you're a good parent. You have to have parenting skills. And if you don't know what they are, you shouldn't be making a baby. If a child is not validated at home at an early age, he or she will seek validation from the streets. There's two ways we lose our kids: through regular death and the streets. When we're not paying attention to what they're doing. And then we uphold them in what they was caught in. Is there anything else that you want to say before we close tonight, Ms. Lamona? I think we lost her. Okay. As always, we thank you all for tuning in to tonight's live broadcast. Some of you are new to this channel. On this channel, we give it to you raw. We don't deal with sugar-coated shit cookies. When truth matters, this is where you need to be. And all of you with these insensitive comments, all I can say, your parents must be so proud. Linda said death penalty. That'll work for me. Juveniles get away with murder in the state of Louisiana. Destiny, thank you so much. She says she's subscribing. I love you big time. When grandmother first started speaking, a lot of people saying, oh, I can hear the pain in her voice. And you can. And there's a lot going on. And if you have disturbing videos, before you put them out there just to get some traffic to your page, think about who might see them. Maybe the family. And if there's a heart in you and the ounce of God, you wouldn't put such videos out. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. Tay Carter said, can we just pray for the family? No, we can't just pray for the family. We can pray for the family, but we have to do some other things to help the family. Laws must be changed. And part of tonight's video was to let you know about how the laws work in the state of Louisiana concerning juveniles when they commit violent acts such as homicide. Yes, I think Jessica the other day in the family because she stayed there with that child. You know what I'm finna do? Let me say this to you, and we're gonna get out of here with you. No, I'm finna get you off of my where did you go? Off of my live. Let me say this here. Let me get you off here now. Okay. That comment said, and I'm paraphrasing, how do you know the whole story when you didn't see the fight in Walmart? Let me tell you something, little girl or little boy. I don't give a damn what happened prior. The law states you can only use the amount of force being used against you. That happened. They chased that child. That's premeditated murder. Now get your dumb ass off my line. That bullshit. All y'all sick. All of y'all sick. Very disturbing. Parents must be so proud. I'm Al Scott with Injustice Investigations. As always, we thank you for tuning in to tonight's live broadcast. As always, you know we don't charge anyone anything when they call us with an issue. We investigate, we help them, we charge no one. If you are able, please leave us a donation through PayPal or Cash App. We love you. I'm not always right. You are not always wrong. Y'all have a good night.